Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to 2022 AI Camp Summer Camp info session. I see a lot of people here. This is awesome. This is awesome. Okay, so one thing, this is very different, okay, from your school Zoom presentation, okay? And it's very interactive, okay, which requires us, first of all, to mute ourselves because we have way too many people here. But second, making sure that you show your camera, turn on your camera. I have questions for you. Okay, sounds good, guys? Give me a thumbs up if it sounds good. You heard me clearly. Yeah, awesome, perfect. All right, first question. How many of you know about programming? You know anything about programming? Raise your hand. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, all right. Aiden Bishop, what kind of programming languages do you know?
I know a bit of Java, some Python, and I've played with like CSS and HTML and stuff like that before.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. How many of you know about Python? Raise your hand. And you can also type into the chat. I know Python, for example. Okay, perfect. Wow, that's a lot of people. Great. Anybody knows about, okay, lower your hand, lower your hand, lower your hand, lower your hand. Okay, lower your hand. All right, second question I have, okay, maybe a third question, okay? So again, mute yourself, okay, because we have way too many people here. Another question I have, how many of you know about SQL? SQL, SQL. Okay, all right, okay, lower your hand. Did you guys notice when I ask Python, almost everyone raised their hand? Do you see that? A lot of people raise their hand, but SQL was much less, right? What if I tell you SQL is like a legendary weapon you must learn in data science? Would that surprise you? That might be surprise you, right? Okay, all right, so I'm just gonna highlight a difference, right, between what you're gonna learn at school versus what's actually being used. There's a huge difference there. Okay, all right, another question I have. How many of you know exactly what you're gonna do in the future? Julian, no? Anybody else? Okay. All right. So we have, let's see. Let's see. I need to find a girl who knows that. Hold on. So this is okay. Your video shows KHR iPad. I don't know what's your name, but can you talk about what you're gonna do in the future? Oh, where did she go? What about Samantha Jude?
Is it unmuted?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hi, I'm Olivia.
Hi.
I would like to become an aerospace engineer in the future.
Aerospace engineer in the future. Okay, great, great. All right, okay. So I'm asking all these questions because at AI Camp, these are the questions we're trying to figure out. For example, what you're gonna do in the future. And also, figure out what you should learn, right? So that you can, for example, best prepared for the future, okay? All right, without ado, I'm gonna share my screen. Can you see my screen? Anybody can see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, perfect, 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 perfect. Okay, I'm just gonna adjust my screen so that I can see you. And I can also see my slides. I also got a bunch of notes. All right, okay. So the agenda, we're gonna talk about AI Summer Camp for the first maybe 40 minutes or so. And also the second portion of this presentation, we're gonna talk about tech internships. And finally, we're gonna talk about Q&A, okay? So those are the three items we're gonna talk about. My name is Michael. You probably received a bunch of emails from me. I'm one of the co-founders at AI Camp. Previously, I graduated from Caltech with a bachelor degree, and I graduated from Stanford with a PhD. So that's roughly my educational background. And I've been in the tech industry for over a decade, working as a software engineer, a data scientist, or head of data, also as a product manager. Yeah, so I've done a few things, yeah. About AI Camp. So AI Camp is founded by Stanford PhDs, and we have thousands of students across actually the globe. we started with very humble beginning with just like 5 students, and you will see, some of the faces, of them today. But right now we pretty much have students across the globe. Yeah. So you guys see this map here? Anyone can take a guess like what this map is about? You can see some of the places are blue, coded, some places are not. What do you think this map is about? What about Vinci? Can you talk about it?
I would take a guess that it's probably the density of people that are in AI camp in the different parts of the United States.
That is correct. That is correct. Can we give Vinci a round of applause? Thank you for answering the question. Good job, man. Good job. All right. So yes, so this is essentially a map of different, various locations where people are visiting from their home to AI Camp's website. As you can see, AI is essentially everyone, inside, around the country who are interested, right? Do you see that? Right? Okay. So AI Camp is, founded by, top AI practitioners. We have essentially, people who work in the tech industry, for decades. We have people experience various roles. We have advisors who founded like billion-dollar companies. We have a Stanford professor, Chucky Weisman, as our advisor as well. What we are trying to do is offer real-world experiences and skills to our students. The other thing I wanted to mention, AI Camp, I would say is a collaboration between educators and our students. As a matter of fact, actually, hold on. How many of you received a text message regarding that you have a scholarship? Raise your hand if you received that. Wow, that's a lot of people. Okay, all right, lower your hand. So that text message was in fact sent by someone who's in high school, by this person right here, Alex Zhou. He got a Python script. He used Python to send all these scripts, to send all these text messages. So I just wanted to show you, and we have lots of student developers here today to help us answer your questions. Jackson Choice, are you there?
Yep.
Yeah, Jackson's there. Ferris?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Kai?
Hello, hello.
Bernice?
Hi.
Ishan?
Hi, guys.
All right, am I missing anyone? Okay, no. All right, so these are the folks that they will basically answer your questions in the chat. All right, so if you have some questions, they will try their best to answer your questions. But if they can't, at the end of the presentation, we will have a Q&A. Okay, we will have a Q&A. So don't worry about it. We got you here. Okay. All right, so as I said, we are educators plus students, right? This is who we are. Okay. I got one question for you again. How many truck drivers do you think there are in the United States? Type your answer in the chat. What do you think? Okay. 500,000, 10,000, a million. Okay, 10 million. All right, okay, all right, stop. So if you Google search it, right? If you Google search it, there are about 3.5 million truck drivers in the United States. You're like, hey, Michael, this is an AI camp. Why were we talking about trucking? Well, have you guys heard about this thing called self-driving trucks? Have you heard about that? There's this company called Too Simple, which is basically a public traded company. They collaborate with UPS, and now they're having self-driving trucks. Huh. All right. How many years do you think self-driving truck will be able to deliver Amazon goods for you? What do you think? What about 5 years? Raise your hand if you think it's going to be happening in 5 years. Okay. What about 10? What about 15? You know what? What about 30 years? Raise your hand if you think it's going to happen in 30 years. Okay. Do you see my point here? Do you see my point? My point is, eventually, as I'm, raising the number of years that we have to wait, the chance for self-driving vehicle to happen nearly 100%, isn't it? nearly 100%. What do you think is going to happen to those truck drivers? 3.5 million truck drivers in the United States. Each family, on average, there are 3 people. There are 10 million people we're talking about here. What do you think is going to happen? The future doesn't look too good, isn't it? It doesn't look too good, right? You know what's going to happen? I'm just using this as example. AI-powered automation is coming. The automation is coming. Whether it's about self-driving trucks, whether it's about curate content on YouTube, whether it's about making a cup of coffee, the AI-powered automation is coming in our lifetime. Our average age at AI Camp. Okay, so hold on. Let me show you a plot. So this is strictly personal information. I'm not supposed to show. I'm going to show you the summary. Okay, summary. Do you guys see the average age of AI Camp participants? You guys see that? This center around what, like 15, 16? Is that right? 15, 16 plus 30 is what? 45, 46? You're still alive. You still thrive. Do you want it to be controlled by the machines, or you're the one who control the machines? What do you think? What do you think? Okay, so I hope I made myself clear. That is, AI automation will come in our lifetime. We're not talking about AI taking over the world. We're not talking about AI behave like a complete human being, but simple tasks, AI automation will come. And this is why it's extremely important to teach AI to you guys, right? Do you see that? Okay. All right. So now I have a live demo to make, okay? They're like, hey, Michael, sounds good. This is awesome. We want to learn about AI, but what are we going to do in the summer, right? Like, what do you want us to do? Well, we're going to make AI products together. Okay, we're going to make an AI products like this. So this is emotion.ai-camp.org, which is basically the first application AI Camp students actually made. We find it over the years, but this emotion detector here enable you to see 5 different emotions: happy, neutral, sad, surprised. Okay, there's a demo. I'm just playing with the model that students built. This is Muty behind me. He's actually 7 feet tall, really tall guy. Yeah. This is the first team that I taught with my wife. Physical camp at Stanford. Yeah. And it was awesome, right? So we have Beatrice, Ari, Thomas, Clement, and Muty. I know their names. I know how tall they are. Right now, I don't know all your names. I don't know how tall you are, but I still care about you, okay? This is me and my wife. We're trying it. Do we want to try this? Let's try this, okay? So I'm going to cheat a little bit because we have a lot of people here, so I'm just going to download this image. I'm going to try it and see how it works. But you can type in one person that you love, okay? Like celebrity you love. And I can Google search their names, find the emotion in the photo, okay? But I'm going to try the rock first so that, we have one, successful example, okay? I'm going to save this image. I'm going to save it in my desktop, okay? And then I'm going to come here. I'm going to upload this photo, okay? Remember, this is a live demo, right? This is a live thing. It's not some, presentation. So we detected angry. Do you think that's accurate? Kind of? What do you think? Thumbs up, thumbs down. What do you think? Manzi was like, it's kind of okay, Jackson's gonna okay. Yeah. It is much more forgiving. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. So let's try another one. Try another celebrity. Okay. Anyone can you can type in a celebrity that you like, and I can. Somebody said Elon Musk. All right, let's try Elon. How about that? Elon Musk. Anyone who's a fan of this guy? Anyone who's a fan? I'm a fan of him. All right, so we're gonna try Elon here. We're gonna see if it works or not. Okay, I want to try it. All right, so this is a moment truth. We might just lose all the credibility here. Are you guys ready? You guys ready? Yeah. All right, we're gonna try. Okay. Desktop, Elon Musk. Try this thing. Whoa, we detect happy. Do you think this is accurate? What do you think? Can we give this AI a round of applause, please? This is good. This is good, right? This is good. Whew. Yeah, there was one time I showed up on high school, like, before the pandemic. I was 20 minutes late. I showed this thing that, I uploaded 2 photos, none of them worked. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's a bad day for me. All right, so this is good. This is good. All right. Wait, I have a question for you. Anyone want to build something like your idea? Anyone want to build this? Anyone? Don't you want to build this? You participate AI camp, 3 weeks later, you got some awesome products like this. Have you guys seen our AI camp website? Look at the student products. Look at all these beautiful products people built. Bernice built this AI detect fake news. Can mimic traits, can simulate a planet, can detect wildfire, can detect potholes. Are you guys impressed or not? It's pretty good, right? I thought it's pretty good. Yeah, awesome. All right. Okay. But then hold on a second. Have you guys seen any like summer camp or coding camp? They would take you through and making AI products. Anyone saw those things? Have you ever seen that? If you're not reading the chat, you should, because everyone is saying no. Why not? What do you think? Why not? Raise your hand if you want to answer my question. Okay. Anyone? Why not? Okay, Parker. Parker Cullen.
There would be more job competition in the field, and that can be sometimes bad for people that want to have great job security.
You know what? That's not the reason, but that's a great reason I never thought of. That's a great reason. Okay. Well, what about Howrell?
Because it's hard.
That's right. Because it's hard. It's freaking hard. It's freaking hard. It's very hard. Why would anybody do this? This is crazy, right? This is literally asking you to become a rocket scientist without going through college. This is hard. But you know what? Sometimes when things are hard, doesn't mean that you don't need to do it. You have to do it. Why do you have to do it? Can someone help me interpret this chart? What this chart means? Anyone? I'm not gonna spend time talking about it. Some of you guys help me. All right, Sophia Lowe.
Cool. And basically, for the chart, private colleges are especially expensive, while for public and private for-profit colleges, those are less expensive. Of course, all the costs are still increasing, just
Right.
very, very much.
Right. Yeah, good one. Anyone want to go to Stanford? Raise your hand. You want to go to Stanford? Raise your hand. Anybody want to go to Stanford? Let's say you got into Stanford. You want to go to Stanford? Okay. All right, cool. Everybody raise your hand. I know that, right? What is $53,000 times 4? $53,000 times 4. What is that answer? $210,000. Okay. Can you guys just turn around, ask your parents and say, do you have $210,000 in the bank? Like for me to go to college? Just ask them that. They would be like, hey, Michael, please don't talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. But you have to talk about it. In a few years, right? When you are going to college, you have to talk about it. You have to. All right, here's another question I have for you. Let's just say 100 people got into Stanford CS degree, okay? CS bachelor. 100 people got in there. And you look at that 100 people, and you say, okay, a couple years later, they graduated, right? They graduated. What's the probability? I mean, how many of them actually have a job a year and a half after their graduation? What do you think? 100 people got in. How many people have a job 1.5 years later? Type in the chat. I see a range of answers. Do you guys see that? It's from 10% all the way to 100%. Do you guys see that? Yeah, this tells me you have no idea, isn't it? Okay, 48 is the number. 48 is the number. 48. Guys, this is Stanford CS degree. Stanford CS degree. So this tells you, okay, so that's the best case scenario, right? Stanford CS degree is the best case scenario. Is that right? Okay, so it's like this. Okay, so imagine, right? Imagine you're 16-year-old. You know, in some states you got a driver's license. You're like, hey, Dad, I'm ready to drive. Let's go buy a car. All right, let's go buy a car. So your dad takes you to a dealership, and you know the salesman comes out and say, hey, you want to buy this vehicle? Everybody also has it. You know, it's great looking. You should have it. And your dad is like, okay, well, how much does this cost? Your dad is like, sorry, like the salesman would be like, $210,000. Okay, $210,000. And your dad would be like, okay, can we test drive it? We want to test drive it and make sure it's going to work. The salesman is like, no, you can't test drive it. You can't. And there is only 48% of chance it's going to drive. Do you think you're going to buy that car? Anyone who's excited of buying that car? Type in the chat. What do you think? Okay, so the point of AI Camp, you're all here because you want to learn about AI. Congratulations, you're in the future of technology, but don't forget, we all need a job. We need to figure out what are we going to do in the future. And how do you figure out what you're going to do in the future? If you don't know, have you never experienced what a product manager does? You don't know what that is, or software engineer, what does it do every day? You don't know about it. What are you going to do? How are you going to make a decision, right? That's why we want to build a real AI product, because we're simulating what's actually happening in your company. Does it make sense? And you have to conceive the product as a product manager. You have to get the data as a data engineer. You have to analyze the data as a data scientist. You have to train the whole thing as a machine learning engineer. You have to design the whole thing, using whatever tools and deploy it. Right? After you're going through it, you ask yourself, which one I like the most? Oh, it turns out I want to design. Okay, great. Now, all of a sudden, you spend $1,500 if you have a scholarship, or $2,000 if you don't have a scholarship, and you figured out how you're going to spend that $210,000. Okay. I think that's a good deal, personally. Okay, personally. The whole reason why we're building this, the whole reason why I, for example, drop $500,000 a year salary to do what we're doing right now is because I don't want any of you to experience what I experienced after I graduated from Stanford with a PhD. Look, I graduated from the best universities, but when I reflect my educational experiences, I don't think it prepared me. And if my education didn't prepare me, I don't think yours will. So you really have to watch out what you're going to learn. Really think about what you're going to do in the future. Using data to make decisions. Let me repeat. Using data to make decisions. The data about different jobs, what they do, about how much they're going to pay, what's the degree, how much I'm going to spend in education. All these things you have to think about it. Okay? Don't you think it's crazy the government want to give you $300,000 loan when you're 17 or 18-year-old? You have never proved yourself. You don't know what you're going to do. The government is happy to loan you money. You know what? You can't even shed your debt when you declare bankruptcy. Wow. Think about it. $200,000 in debt. And you know what? $16 an hour at TJ Maxx. Don't be like that. Right? Okay. I think I scared too much of you. I need to move on and bring more excitement. I'm sorry to being so negative, but yeah. All right, so we have more positive students here who actually went through the summer. They can tell better stories than I do. Okay, so we have Ferris, we have Bernice. So this is Ferris, this is Bernice, and this is Ishan. Okay, so I want them to talk about, maybe share like one memorable story they have in AI camp when they were taking AI camp summer last year. Okay, Ferris, are you there? Do you think you can start with one story?
You know what? Sure thing. I'll start with one story. So, I went in completely I went in and I said I knew Python, but to be honest, I barely knew anything, right? It was very minimal at best. So, I went in there, I was like kind of nervous. I was like, what am I going to do, right? They say they teach Python, but I don't know anything. And how am I going to go from not knowing anything to straight up building a whole, AI? So I was a bit nervous at first, but then I got into my group, and the groups are small. They're like 4 people, 5 people, 6 people. So my group, I think, was like 5 other people, and our instructor was like really nice. So a good chunk of the first week, they just learned Python. We just learned Python and more Python and more Python. And even if you were even if you said hey, I'm good at Python, I don't need to do this. They taught you good stuff. They taught you stuff that you wouldn't have known before. So I went from not knowing anything to in only 4 days, knowing a good amount of Python, enough for me to, write a script to detect, I guess, a label box, right? Because when you're doing computer vision, you need to put a label box. So I thought that was really wild. This year, I'm taking a Python class in my school just cause. And what I learned in 4 days at the camp took the school curriculum around 3 months to cover. So I think it's wild.
Okay. Well, that's a good story. What about for Bernice? Do you have a story to share?
Yeah. So hi everyone. My name is Bernice, and I'm a high school senior from the San Francisco Bay Area. And I mean, going into AI camp, I didn't know anything about AI, but I did have some experience with programming through side projects, school classes, and programs outside of school, etc. But I didn't really have that much of an in-depth knowledge in Python, I would say. And a lot of AI camps, I guess, curriculum is focused on Python, as well as just building off of Python to learn more about AI. So when I first found out about this opportunity, it was actually last summer, and I applied after hearing about a scholarship from my school counselor, and I ended up getting a partial scholarship, but I couldn't afford the program. But even though I couldn't afford it, I really wanted to attend it, because the more I looked into it, the more interested I became in exploring AI. So I ended up emailing Michael, and then after an interview, I got an internship while I was a student at AI Camp. So yeah, I mean, that was a really great experience, and it allowed me to attend the camp, which was awesome. And going in on the first day at AI Camp, it was I guess it was kind of like an explosion of information, but at the same time, there was a lot of support. And we learned a lot about Python and AI concepts, from neural networks and confusion matrices to data visualizations that I never heard before. And we also had a lot of in-depth lectures and hands-on exercises along the way, which all kind of culminated into this final project of working with other students to build an AI product. So as Michael mentioned earlier, I ended up making a fake news detector with my team that allows the user to input information from online news sources. And then, yeah, you can see it on the screen right now, but basically, once the user inputs some information, then the program will run an online AI model to determine if that information is true or not. And throughout the whole process, the instructors were really supportive and ready to help. And something that really stood out to me as a student was that the instructors were always eager to teach us more, rather than just what we needed to know for the project. And without AI Camp, I definitely wouldn't know as much about AI as I do now. And I also wouldn't have had the opportunity to learn more about tech and the tech industry as a product designer, especially at such a young age.
Right. So as you can see, this is not child's play, right? We are building real, tangible, and useful AI products that can be applied in the real world, that are relevant, right? This isn't just, build this thing, put it in your portfolio. No, it's the real deal, right? You gain experience, you gain knowledge. the instructors work in a way where they teach you, right? They teach you and they give you the knowledge you need to succeed, but they don't tell you where to go. They guide you, but in the end, they really do foster the discipline that you need, and they foster your creativity by allowing you to do what you want and guiding you when you need help after giving the resources to succeed.
Can we give Bernice and Ferris a round of applause, guys? We have one more speaker, but yeah, this is awesome. Ishan, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, can you talk about one story?
So I saw a lot of people in the chat saying like, oh, do you have a comprehensive knowledge of Python now? And like, how did this help you? That's the difference about AI Camp. Like you can go to a 4-year college and get out of college and you may still not have the actual knowledge or experience that you get from AI Camp, because AI Camp is an experience. You're actually applying the concepts. I learned Python at the beginning of last year, or I thought I learned Python, right? But what good is a programming language if you really can't do anything with it, right? Oh, I know HTML. Cool, someone asked me to design a web page, I can't do it. Is it helpful? No, right? To actually apply your knowledge, AI Camp gives you that opportunity and you get support. The instructors are always there to help you. Like I needed extra help with doing some machine learning with Python. And my instructor, he actually sat down with me and we went through some more exercises and I understood it. Like they genuinely care about you. It's not like they're going to just teach you what you absolutely need to know.
I messaged my instructor at literally 11 p.m. at night. And like, he was in a different time zone. So it was like later for him and he still responded. And it was crazy.
Okay.
And I'm forever grateful to AI Camp, since AI Camp is like, okay, you go to college, I'm going to go comp sci for college, but after AI Camp, I actually have some experience in how these programming languages can be used. I can bring that experience to college, use the knowledge I learned in college and what I've learned from AI Camp and keep building on it rather than just take the same education that everybody in that college gets. That doesn't make you unique, but these kind of experiences, they really make you stand out.
We have actually a college student, you know, who have Jackson, who was actually like our AI Camp students. Now he's in college. He's going to talk a lot more about the comparison and contrast between the two. Yeah. All right. Can we give Ishan, Bernice, Ferris a round of applause? Thank you for sharing your experiences. Guys, one thing I can tell you, this was never rehearsed. Okay, this whole thing was very organic or lack of planning for the two reasons. We're just too busy. So we made the presentation. Actually, I get up like 5 o'clock in the morning. I spent 2 hours to make the presentation. And I was like, hey, talk about one story. And they just talk about one story. So nothing is rehearsal here. Yeah. Okay. That can be good or bad, but so far so good. All right. Sydney, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Can you please talk about AI Camp Online, etc.? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. So I wanted to touch on a few things today. And if a lot of you, I recognize names and I've read a lot of your scholarship applications. And I really just want to say great job to most of you articulating your career goals and plans for the future and how you plan to use AI Camp to leverage those goals. That's
I'm
really
sorry, like I forgot to introduce Sydney. Sydney is our director of admission.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I have had a little bit of insight into those essays that you submitted, and that really invigorates us here at AI Camp, and it really gets us excited about the curriculum and planning for you guys. So thank you for that. But a lot of the questions that we get, especially from parents, and I know we might have some parents joining us today, is where is AI Camp and is it fully online? So the answer to that is yes, AI Camp is fully online. And a lot of the feedback that we get from the students is that although it is online, is that it's 100% collaborative. I think the students really emphasize that in their talks today. You can really see how they have to collaborate with teachers closely. They collaborate with one another to build these awesome products. So nothing is lost through the online piece. And over the past couple of years, I think that we've all kind of assimilated to learning online. But some of the tools I think that we should point out that we use at AI Camp to create that collaboration are, we provide every student with an online computer, which is essentially a a place where students can go and code, and they are able to use our coding center, so to speak, as kind of like what we would consider a Google Doc for coding. So that's where they go to collaborate. Michael probably can expand on that a little bit, or if you guys have questions, certainly drop that in the chat. And a lot of the materials that the students do use are easily accessible. We provide any of the necessary software that you would be using and the materials for the exercises that you'll be participating in. You can go to the next slide, Michael. So the logistics, a lot of the questions that we've been getting is, what is the tuition? I got, some of you received a full scholarship. We have some that have a partial scholarship. So let's start with the basic tuition. The regular tuition is $2,349. With your partial scholarship, the remaining balance would be $1,549. And that's assuming everyone on this call today is a reserve student. So you've already reserved your spot with the $249 reservation fee. So you're good to go there. Your spot is secured. You should have selected a batch by now. And then we will send you and your parents an invoice, a link where they can go and pay the balance on your tuition. So this next slide here outlines the next steps, essentially. That invoice will go out today and tomorrow. Check your emails for that. And the deadline, which is the last day that you can pay the balance on your tuition, is 3/26, which is next Friday.
Saturday, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Saturday, yes.
Yeah. Okay. If you have any questions regarding these details, we're gonna do our Q&A at the end, okay? And we can, help you answering all these questions. Because of time, we have to move on. So how to best prepare for AI summer camp? If you don't know Python, you gotta learn Python right now, okay? There's no way around it. It's pretty simple. Go to learnpython.org, go through all the basics. It's gonna take you mostly one weekend or one Saturday morning, okay? So instead of like watching YouTube, go to learnpython.org, okay? Second is making sure you have good equipment, right? Making sure you have high-speed Wi-Fi, making sure you have a good computer with camera. What we are going to provide, as Sydney said, is we're going to provide a cloud computer for you that you essentially will do coding and training your AI model on that computer. Lastly, be curious and ask questions, right? There are no stupid questions at AI Camp. Don't you see how interactive we are and how engaging this session is? It's going to be like this for every day at AI Camp, and even better, right? Because right now you don't speak that much. Imagine you're collaborating. Anyone who's excited about AI Camp? Wanted to do this? Yeah, I can't wait for it to happen. I can't wait. That's awesome. All right, okay. All right, so if you have more questions about AI Summer Camp, as I said, we're gonna talk about it at the end of this presentation. But for now, I got something I never showed before in public. This is new stuff. This is exciting stuff. This is new stuff, okay? At AI Camp, there is this phrase here. Actually, let me stop sharing. Let's see. I need to highlight myself. I'm gonna remove sharing. I'm gonna show you something. Do you guys see what I'm holding here? You can read the phrase for me. Okay, so AI Camp, we're only as great as the doors that we open, right? We ask ourselves, how do we open doors for our students? Come on, doing a summer camp, maybe not enough. How do we do that, right? So we thought, for example, like how our professionals actually learned. And we learned by doing it. We learned by, for example, like, I don't know, figuring it out, right? And making mistakes and learn with the professionals, because they're the ones who can teach you about What's a modular code? What's testable code? You know, you need to learn from the best of the best, right? Okay, so we thought we're gonna do these tech internships, right? And however, let me just tell you, I don't like the word of intern, because you know what, being an intern, have you ever been an intern? You probably never been an intern. But you know what? I have coached the interns. And what do I think about interns? I think they're absolutely annoying, because I was like, they don't know there's craft. You know, they need to be coached. I don't know what's the return of my investment of time. I absolutely don't like interns. But you know what? We have so many students working at AI Camp, and they're not interns. We're going to call them Team Tomorrow. What's the difference? The difference is that they're already trained, vetted. They work at top companies, working at things that, gosh, if you go through the normal experience, you would be like 27 or 30 when you're working at those companies. You know, Jackson started working at those companies when he's 17, right? So I'm gonna turn this table to my mentor, Justin White. Justin, are you there?
Hey, Michael.
Hello. Hi, Justin.
I'm here.
Okay, Justin, can you share a bit about, you know, like you hired a team tomorrow team. Can you talk about what they do? What do you think about their performance? Yeah.
Yeah, happy to. So I'm Justin. I'm CTO co-founder at a company called Notable Health. We're about 150 people now, about 40 people on the engineering team, including 3 full-time machine learning engineers. We're a healthcare workflow automation company. So all the things that are currently being done manually inside of large health systems, we help them digitize those processes and automate them. And as a result, we have a large amount of machine learning models that we need to build out. So Michael came to me and told me that he was actually thinking about starting up this, Team Tomorrow, effectively a consulting division, and that sounds great. We're pretty much always in a state where we have way more problems than we have people. It's one of the attractive things about early stage, rapid growing startups is just there's so much work to be done. And so I was more than happy to, sit down and brainstorm with Michael. What are some interesting problems that the team could work on? And, to Michael's point, he's just saying, hey, just treat them like you would treat any other, people you're bringing on in a consulting capacity. And so we did treat them just like any other, professional software developers we're working with. And we gave them some actually pretty heavy challenges. In particular, the first project that we took on was we do a lot of OCR, optical character recognition work. We get a bunch of PDFs and faxes, and we need to digitize those and turn them into machine readable text. All right, it's a very common workflow for us. Because we're a startup and because we're a pretty small team, we typically use off-the-shelf models to get things started. And then as the product matures and as we get more data built up, we go and want to try to train our own in-house models that are going to be specific to our data sets. And so that's exactly what we did with our team tomorrow. They actually went out and built a very modern OCR pipeline for us using latest transformer architecture, really state-of-the-art stuff, just very recently published. And they went and built it out, really high quality. They integrated that with a Kubeflow pipeline, even built a labeling tool so we can go and aggregate, bootstrap additional data for it. And that was great. They basically got that project to the point where, it's good enough, and we're now, it's live in production and it's working really well. And so now, given the success on that initial project, as we're doing our roadmap planning for, what's 2022 and 2023 look like, we actually have, Michael and the Team Tomorrow team slated in as a pretty critical part of building out new computer vision classifiers for how we integrate with a lot of these existing systems of record at these large health systems. You can imagine the legacy health systems that have a bunch of desktop software. There's no APIs to get data in and out. So we're actually clicking through the UI with bots using computer vision, just like a human would. And we're leveraging Team Tomorrow to go and build out a bunch of these classifiers, which is, amazing. It's a core part of our, of our product offering and our IP. And so really excited about the work we're doing together. Michael, you're on mute if talk.
Can we give Justin a round of applause? Because Justin, I just want to say, thank you for trusting us like blindly. But this whole thing, turns out to be great. Really appreciate that you spend time here. I also want to call out Justin is my personal mentor. He has been, with me right since the beginning. Look at this photo. This photo is actually taken quite some years ago when we had the first camp. We toured at Notable Health, and that's a small company. And now they're much larger company. So I just want to say thank you, Justin.
Of course.
Yeah. All right. So okay. So now I'm going to turn to Jackson Choice, who is without his performance, we would not do Team Tomorrow. He's actually one of the first 2 engineers that we hired. We gave him a title as founding software engineer. He can do full stack, and he's a Team Tomorrow lead. Right now, he's in university. So, Jackson, I have one question I want to ask you. Can you compare and contrast the learning that you had in AI Camp versus the learning you had in your university?
For sure. So yeah, the learning in AI Camp, it's a lot faster pace, and it dives straight into what you can actually do with what you learn. Whereas in university, it's more of they teach you concepts, algorithms. Occasionally, they teach you best practices, but they don't really have you dive into projects that are immediately useful, much less you get paid to do. Whereas working at AI Camp, I'm getting paid to make stuff that's not only interesting, but is immediately used in a company that serves, hundreds, if not thousands of students. It's incredible to be able to do that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing your experience. Guys, I want to ask you, do you guys like this logo here? This Team Tomorrow logo? Anyone like this logo? Because this is new, we never showed to people before. Okay, all right, okay. Most of them saying it looks pretty good. All right. So Bernice, we're doing well. I think this logo is going to be good to go. All right, cool. Thank you. Thank you, Jackson, for sharing your experience. Yeah. All right. Because of time, we really have to move. But Kai, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Kai and his dad agreed to share with us, his experience working as a Team Tomorrow member. And Kai's dad is also going to talk about maybe some of the visible growth and changes or reflections on this experience. So really appreciate you guys coming here. Yeah, please tell us some stories.
Thank you so much. So I guess I'll first start off with a bit of background. When I started, I was 16, but now I'm 17. And what we're doing is we're not doing Team Notable. We're actually working on another pretty cutting edge technology, blockchain. So we've been contracted out to a private NFT group, and we're basically developing out tools for their Discord. So that means getting NFT statistics right in the heart of their community. And it also means making tools so that they can better manage the community. And all that has been such an awesome experience. But at the start of it, I think like a lot of other people, I didn't have that much experience. I knew some of the basics. I knew I had done some projects, but really going through this whole experience of AI Camp, doing an incubator where in AI Camp, they got a couple of the best performers in the camp, and they got together in incubator where me and 5 other people, we were able to build out an NFT statistics website. And then through that, we did very well in that. So we got into the tech team. But through all that, at the start, I didn't know too much. I've done a couple projects, but by the end of it, I was able to really develop out these skills that I'm now using on a daily basis. So using GitHub, deploying servers, writing website, interacting with actual clients, like figuring out what kind of products they want. And how I like to think about it is really this whole experience has kind of been able to focus all of this energy and excitement that I had into just one project. So that means that like in such a short amount of time, I've only been doing this for 2 months. I've learned probably more than really I could ever imagine. And the experience at the tech team is very flexible. So that means that, if there's a week where I have a lot of tests, I can kind of slow down. But it also means that it also gives you an opportunity to really go hard when you do have that time. And there's also the great community. There's also a great community. So Jackson, really inspiring, knows so much more, but he's also a student. So super easy to talk to. And that kind of means that the ceiling for what you can learn is so high because there's so many people who have so much more experience than you. I'm just so grateful. So I want to thank everybody. I'll pass it off to my dad.
Yeah, we're really excited about all the stuff that Kai's been doing. And actually just the idea of the NFTs, we didn't know much about it when he started, but it kind of got me thinking is we're not interested in the technology, but how can you help other people? That's what we kind of trained Kai to do. And so actually I have a friend of mine who's actually who we met in high school, right? They're the same age as Kai is now. And she's a congresswoman over in Pennsylvania. And she runs a school in India for basically kids and education. And so it's kind of exciting to get them connected. And so we decided to create an NFT project. So Kai's gonna be a project manager for that. And we have an NFT project that we're gonna start for them, basically get and build funding to build a new kitchen for these kids. And the basic problem is pretty sad is that they can't go to school all day because they don't have enough food to eat. They actually have to go home to eat. They're so far to go home, they can't actually stay in school. So we're gonna actually create an NFT project, hopefully get funding for this kitchen so they can actually get fed in the school and stay in the school. So we might put a link to that in the show notes here. But it's pretty exciting. So Kai got involved in that. And so we had a team meeting where I was in Switzerland at the time. We have another team member in Hong Kong and my friend in Pennsylvania, and Kai's here in Mountain View, and we're all getting together to run this project. So it's pretty exciting, kind of launched kind of what he's learned already, but actually apply something real and actually helping other people. So and fundraising I think is a big place for NFTs. So
wow. Do you guys see, what Kai is doing is literally opening doors for people? Do you guys see that? Can we give Kai and his dad a round of applause? Thank you for sharing that awesome experience. Let me know, man. Anything you need, we're here to help you. Yeah, anything. Yeah. Okay. Appreciate you. Okay. All right. So we're gonna move on. All right. Anyone want to join team tomorrow? Isn't it exciting? Anyone want to join? Okay. So if you want to join team tomorrow, you have to be a top performer. As I said, I don't like interns. We don't like interns. We want people who are like truly can perform, right? So be a top performer in the summer, right? If you're a top performer, your instructor will pick you up and will recommend you for team tomorrow. And boom, you're basically in that launch pad. Wouldn't that be exciting? That's awesome, right? And you know what? How do you actually standing out? Learn by building many side projects. If you just start, don't you worry. If you don't know any background, don't you worry. You're here already. You're among us, right? Start by going through Python. Compare against yourself yesterday, not compare to Jackson. No one should compare to Jackson, right? Compare against yourself. See if you improve every day by 5%, just 5%, couple percent. Accumulate over time. You'll be awesome. Okay, start small, building projects using Google. Okay, using Google. Another thing is soft skills really matter. Soft skills really matter. Okay, communication, proactiveness, reliability. Don't you guys see, for example, every single one who spoke today, they spoke really well. They were organized, they were articulated, they were able to tell a personal story to connect with you. Do you see that? And none of these rehearsal, none, right? You can't rehearse this. So making sure you practice your communication. Try to tell a story, to your brother, right? Try to be proactive, doing something where you thought, hey, that might be helpful, be reliable, right? These are the characters we're looking for. So if you want to join team tomorrow, you got to be like this. I only think 10% of you might get in, but don't worry, keep on trying, right? We have AI hackathon going on. We have all sorts of different stuff planned for you, okay? All right. Here's to the parents. You are in fact building the future of education with us together. Why? Think about it. The tuition you paid, eventually we turn around, we give to our student developer for them to gain experiences, and they're going to build AI camp, become larger and larger. This meeting here should be on CNN or ABC News or NBC. the whole higher education should hear about this, don't you think? Why would they charge $50,000 a year and not provide real education? Don't you be mad about this? Aren't you gonna be mad about this? Right? We need to do better, right? I hope there are more competition against AI Camp. I hope Stanford will take notice about us. I hope Team Tomorrow this year will work with 20 different companies. Next year, 200 companies. And then Google, Facebook will take notice and they start hiring us. And all of a sudden, we'll put a Team Tomorrow University together. Don't you see that? So what you are contributing, even though it's small in the beginning, gradually it's going to accumulate to be really, really exciting future. We're building our futures together. Join us, okay? All right, Q&A. I'm gonna put this link here. You can go there, type all your questions. I'm just gonna spam you a little bit, okay? So that you see it, go in there, you can ask any questions you have, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go to that Q&A link. And what I'll do is I'll pick the questions that you have. Right, so you see the questions here, right? So the questions here, you can actually type in any questions you want, right? My question is, how old is Michael? Okay, how old is Michael? All right, you type it here, and you can just vote it up, right? You can vote it up, right? You can vote up. Don't type in there, type on the left-hand side. You can vote up the stuff that you wanted to do, okay? Wanted to answer, and I will try to answer those questions. Sydney and myself will answer those questions. Do you guys think that was good, entertaining presentation, informative as well? Right? Can we give all the speakers a round of applause? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for doing this. You know, from Justin to Bernice to Kai to Jackson to Ferris to Ishan to Sydney to all these people who involved. You know, really thank you. Okay. All right. Okay. Vote up your questions. Okay. So we're just gonna give 1 minute.
I see one already, Michael. I think we might have had some folks who came in a little bit late. So while we're waiting, I'll just go over the tuition since that's one of the bigger ones. So the total cost of AI Camp tuition is $2,349. Everyone on this call has already reserved a spot by paying the $249 reservation fee. So the balance of your tuition after your partial scholarship is going to be $1,300 if you received an $800 scholarship, which is quite a large percentage of our folks. If you received a full scholarship, then that does not apply to you. There might be a few folks on the call also who received a $700 scholarship as well. So keep that in mind. And the due date, I'll repeat that, is going to be the 26th, which is next Saturday. That is the final date to pay, but you will receive an invoice today or tomorrow by email. So keep an eye open for that.
Yeah, we're just a little behind in terms of generating that invoice because the number of people wanted to participate in AI Camp, you know, this is the largest scale that we ever had. And we try to limit the amount of people we can take this summer because otherwise we can't serve you all. So I apologize to that. You know, if you can't join or, you know, if you can't like, you know, go to the batch that you wanted to join. But don't worry, you know, we're gonna work hard and come back with awesome, you know, programs to help you. Okay, I'm gonna take a few questions. I'm gonna start trying to answer them. Sydney, you can help me, okay?
Sure.
All right. I'm gonna go through, will AI Camp help with gaming developing careers? Absolutely. Gaming is about programming. Gaming is a product. Yeah, 100%. Okay, next one. I'm gonna see the ones that has a lot of votes. I'm gonna sort them by votes. Hold on. All right, so this is where we need Richard, but he's not here. Well, maybe he is here. Okay, we have a lot of questions. Oh, you guys are like voting the questions? You should vote the questions. Will people with no knowledge of programming start in the same place or people who knows a computer language? No. So what we're gonna do is we will do a survey to see where you're at. And then our programs is going to cater to the level that you are. If you know about programming, you're not going to learn Python again. If you don't know about programming, yeah, you will start learning about Python. You're making data dashboard, you learn machine learning. Basically, that's called data science track, right? The ones that, for example, that knows about some languages, start with computer vision, natural language processing, game, crypto, things like that. All right, okay. Keep on voting with the people. Oh, hold on.
I see a question about changing batches. So if you have signed up for a batch and you would like to change the batch that you're currently in, you certainly can do that. If there is room still in that batch, I will add the batch self-service link in the chat here.
Okay, good. How much of a 4-year CS college education can you give? Don't get me wrong, we are not offering college education just yet, but we will, but not yet. Just stay composed. If we receive a full scholarship, how do we reserve our spot? Because I don't see a link in my email. You don't need to reserve, you can just claim it. So there's a Google form in that email. You go in there, you put your name, submit a video to teach us something. We want to see how you communicate, and bingo, you have a full scholarship. Isn't that cool? All right, so can AI be used for drone tech? Yes. AI can be used for anything, right? AI can be used even for literature, for write marketing copies and stuff like that. Okay. What's the criteria for scholarship? We're looking at your income. We look at whether you can be best utilize our program. We look at basically how much you want it. So those are things we're looking at. Okay. You know what? Let's do this. We're running out of time. Okay, we're running out of time. I'm not gonna use this. I'm just gonna have a conversation with you all. If you have a question, you can raise your hand. I can call your name, and we can just answer your question. Okay, make it simple. All right, Shane.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, so I reserved my spot paying the $250, and I applied and everything. So what do I do from there? I'm not really clear on that.
Sydney, you want to take that?
Absolutely, sure. So once you have paid your $249 deposit, you are officially reserved. You've reserved your spot, you've just selected your batch and time zone. Now, the next step, you will receive an invoice via email. Your parents, if you've submitted their information, will also receive that same invoice. You can pay the balance on your tuition. And that you will have 1 week to do. From the time you get your invoice, either today or tomorrow, you'll have until the 26th of March, which is next Saturday, to finalize that payment through the link that we send you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, what about Samuel H?
I had a question about scholarships. So I received both the $800 scholarship as well as the form for the full one. If we got the form for the full one, do we still fill in the form for the partial scholarship?
Go for the full one, man. Congratulations.
Okay.
You're top 50 out of 5,000, Okay, Julian Berkey.
Yes, so I've received a text message that said I had a scholarship, and I've looked everywhere in my email, and I've searched for your email and the AI camp email, and I can't find any email.
All right, Julian, we made a mistake. So what we will do is we will basically, if you ever have a situation like that, you can send us one email at hello@ai-camp.org, right? And we will apply the scholarship to your account.
Okay.
All right. I need a girl asking me questions. Like we're in, okay. Rishitha Ravi.
Hi. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So other than learning Python for the summer, are there any other programming languages that we should look at and try to learn?
I would say it's very helpful to know about command line. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Marina Lachette?
Hi, so I was wondering if what are the chances for getting an internship?
About 10%. If you join, about 10%. Okay.
Okay.
What about for Horrell?
Yeah, hi. What's the time frame for the AI camp? Like, what are the days? Sorry.
The dates are on our website. Go to our website, you will see everything.
Oh, also, I might be traveling while I'm doing the AI camp, so how should I adjust time zones?
So first of all, this experience is going to be very intensive. I don't recommend you, for example, doing multiple things at a time. If you have to travel, we have PST and EST. So, yeah. All right, we're gonna take 5 more questions. Okay. Jenny, John.
So I have a question on what are the dates for it? So would it be like 5 days a week or something?
Yeah, it's a 5 days a week from 10 to 3. 5 days a week from 10 to 3. The dates are actually on the website. Okay. Samantha Jude. Okay, Samantha, type your questions. I think your connection has some problems. Okay. What about for Emert Torpe?
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to know what was the deadline to buy the reservation?
Today.
Okay, and then also, where do we sign up for the full scholarship?
The scholarship application has already been closed. So
yeah, but is it the same? Was it the same thing as the form, or was it a different thing for the full scholarship?
There's a Google form, but if you received it, you have it, but we can't disclose that link.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, Harrison.
Yes. What engine or interpreter are we using for Python?
Oh man, that's a good question. We are using Python 3.7, I believe. Yeah, but don't worry about it because we got our coding center. We manage that for you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't worry about it.
Yeah. Does that require certain computer specs or anything?
Nope. Just a computer with a browser, with Wi-Fi, with a camera. Julian C. Yeah, Julian. That is you. Yeah. You're unmuted.
Michael, can you clarify for Rashida? Ravi has a question about the full scholarship students and when they would receive their batch assignment.
Yeah, so we will have to wait until the 26th.
Thank you.
Okay, my mic should be working now.
Yeah, Judy.
What exactly is that? You said that we'll be programming on like your computer and it'll be like a Google Doc. What exactly is that? Is that similar to GitHub?
Yeah, no. So we have our own coding center, which is basically you log into it and you can code on top of it. Right. So it's almost.
Is it like an IDE?
Yeah, you can think of it like that way. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like the computational resource is actually online and there's a GPU attached to it, right? So you don't have to spin a GPU and things like that.
Okay, so that's so that we don't have to like have good specs, right?
No, man.
It's almost like Google Colab. So basically, we have like it's not hosted on your computer. Like all the coding you're gonna do is just gonna be hosted on our really powerful online computer. We pay a lot for it, so that way you can run your AI training sessions super quick, and it's super resource intensive. But that way we won't be using your computer, your resources. As long as you have a good Wi-Fi connection, you'll be able to, do heavily intensive AI processes.
All right, sounds good.
Barbara. At least the name says Barbara. You raise your hand.
What was the other thing other than Python? The other
command line. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're No problem. All right. Okay. Whoa, this is a very engaging session, right? I hope that you loved it. I hope you loved the experience. I hope all the speakers really had a good time speaking. I see many families actually sitting in front of TV watching it, almost like a talk show. This is great. This is great. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to end it to preserve everyone's energy, but I see your enthusiasm. Okay. You know what? Let me tell you one thing. You don't need an AI camp actually. Okay. What you do need is your curiosity to learn, right? Your curiosity to learn. We are like a tour guide helping you along the way. Hopefully our messages resonate with you. If so, join us. We're going to build this future of education together. Okay. You'll learn a lot more about AI camp once you join. Boundless opportunities and learning resources. We're going to look at this together. Okay. And if you have questions, you're welcome to send an email to hello@ai-camp.org. Okay. Although if you send too many messages, we'll be swamped and we'll be dead, and it ain't gonna be good for anyone. So making sure that you have good questions when you send. But nonetheless, I appreciate you. I appreciate you come this morning or this afternoon, join us for this conversation. I appreciate every single speaker who helped us. I appreciate you, Sydney, who joined us for just 3 weeks, and now you're making such a great impact. Okay, everyone, have a great weekend ahead. Have a great summer. Okay, hopefully see you in the summer. Okay, all right, bye-bye for now.
Wait.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's about winter. I took the winter summer AI camp course, and I basically signed up for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
How will that work?
You participated in winter before?
Yep.
Wow. So winter, which data science batch, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, so the winter data science is only about, for example, learning Python, building data dashboard, and presenting it.
Yeah, it's just like after the course was done, I also signed up for the AI course for the summer.
Right. So, like I would say you're a bit more advanced than, for example, like a typical student.
Mm-hmm.
So then you can join us for computer vision or natural language processing, build a deep learning model.
Mm-hmm. So is there anything is there anything extra I have to do for not signing in, but what?
Preparing it?
Not preparing, but I forgot the word for some reason.
So are you wanting to make sure that you were in the correct batch and paired with similar?
It's more like I just want to make sure I kind of applied properly.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, you definitely are. Don't worry. Like if it's about batch placement, that's something we can do.
I think my parents said they pay for tuition kind of pretty early on. So
yeah.
Okay, so
shoot us an email to hello@aicamp.org, and I will just confirm and refresh your memory about what batch selection you've already selected if you've already done that, and we'll go from there.
You confirm the email one more time. I've heard AI-camp, and I've also heard just AI camp. What's the email address?
AI-camp.
AI-camp.org.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we send if we didn't receive my son got his
that's right.
for a scholarship in text, but he didn't get a email to accept it.
Yeah, send to hello@ai-camp.org.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And I also just dropped a link where you can request a meeting if you'd like to have someone reach out to you and connect by telephone. You're more comfortable with that. You can certainly shoot that over to your parents if they have questions, and I'll be happy to schedule a time to connect with them over the phone.
Do we get a refund?
Oh yeah, if you anytime you don't want to participate, before June 3rd, you request refund back to your account.
So we can get a refund for the $250, right?
No, we'll return everything back to you.
The $250?
Everything.
Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.
Yeah. But why would you? Okay. Charlie, you have a question?
No, I was just saying goodbye.
I can't hear you.
I was just saying thanks and goodbye.
Oh, okay. Goodbye, man. All right, guys, all the party, they have a time limit. Okay. So I know that you really want to, learn and get in. Great. You know what? One thing, keep on building stuff. Okay. Keep on building stuff. Keep on learning. Okay? Keep
I
on
have a
building.
question.
Sure. Who's that? Yeah, ask
I'm
your question.
Drew.
Yeah,
Is
go
there
ahead.
is there a place to find the recording after the Zoom call?
Yeah, we will do it. We'll
Okay,
send it.
thank you.
Send out to you by email.
Yeah, we'll send to you.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to quickly ask, I just wanted to reiterate, if so I'm an incoming ninth grader, and if I do not receive an internship, I'm extremely passionate, first of all, but if I do not receive an internship, maybe, that following month or that following year, I can always reach out through hello@aicamp.org and just ask if I could apply for a team tomorrow after that summer program this summer, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely, yes. And you'll still have access to our Discord channel, so you don't have to disengage with AI Camp at any time. It's a community of students, so you'll always be welcome there. And we certainly applaud your diligence and follow up with that. Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Okay, well, it has been almost an hour and 15 minutes. I'm pretty sure our bladder has a limit. So let's do the following. Okay, you got a question, send us an email at hello@ai-camp.org. I want to appreciate everyone here. Goodbye for now. Okay. All right. Bye-bye.